Hey everyone, it's Matt, and it is 2026, so that means that it's about time for another load order video for Skyrim. Like with any load order video that I make, the list will be in-game at the end of the video if you want to look at it that way. If you have any questions about any mods, leave those in the comments down below, or read through the mod descriptions, as I do recommend, especially if you're new to Skyrim modding, that you do. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the changes that I made to the list that I was using. If there's anything in my list that you have a question about, feel free to leave a comment down below. Like if you enjoyed the video. Let's get into the mod list. So the first area I wanted to cover are the armor mods in my list. I pretty much kept everything the same, but I have been watching a lot of Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, and when you see some really cool armor sets, you kind of just want to play around with them in Skyrim, and you wonder if there's a mod available for what you're thinking of in your head. I looked at the dragon carved armor set in the past, and I wanted to try the Divergence version. I have used this previously, but I actually only looked at the gold carved armor and not the ebony, but you also get just the regular dragon carved armor, which would be steel. There are some of these in other mods where you can just get one or the other, but I didn't see one for ebony. So if you don't use like SWF, for example, you might want to check out one of those. If you don't care too much about the textures themselves and you just like the look of the armor, there's a 1K version with the Divergent set of armors, and that is about 10% of the size. Unlike the other armor mods in this list that I have, this one you do actually have to craft the armor for, because it's like an additional set of armor rather than replacing stuff that's there. You can get to that at any smithing station. It can take a bit to craft, but there are some heavy and light variants. With mods like this, unless there's a patch for shields on back, if you try to equip a shield, you might end up crashing unless you have another one to actually replace the shield with. I think this is probably because the game doesn't know you actually have a shield equipped unless you have it out. So with a mod like shields on back, your shield isn't technically on your back, although visually it is. I used the just shields on back mod, and I was able to get around this by opening the config menu and then going to reset the list. Once you jump out of that, I was able to switch through the different shields that I had, and I didn't crash. Now let's go over some of the graphic mod changes that I made. I ended up removing a couple things and then adding or changing one of the mods that I was currently using. So first thing is writing all-in-one. I mentioned in that last load order video that I made featuring this mod that there were multiple versions, and I ended up moving to this one because it included a little bit more in that one mod. I think the two big things that I consider with writing on Xbox at the moment, at least for me, is that the resolution isn't super high and it doesn't cover everything with an all-in-one mod. So you do still need some things to actually complement it with. Well, need is a strong word. It's just if you want to cover everything. The resolution being a little bit lower is just to get the size down so it's not crazy large. And that's why I had all those Skyland mods with it in the last list. But then I also found that there was a Nordic Ruins and Caves mod that was using the Clever Chart textures. So I ended up downloading that. And then also I have the Stony AF, Markarth, and Dwemer Ruins like we had in that last one. I did want to mention that I was using a different version of Azurite Weathers, and it did save a little bit of space. However, I noticed whenever I was in game and was looking at anywhere with like fog in view, it actually ended up like dropping some frames, which was weird. I went back and installed the one that I was using, and that seemed to fix the issue, and then I just removed the other one. That newer one that I tried, it did say it was optimized for Xbox, so maybe it's a thing with like Xbox Series X, but let me know if you come across that issue too. To close out this section, I did want to mention the user interface mod that I was using. I've made probably about 2 or 3 videos on SkyUI coming to Xbox just because I was really excited about it. And in this list, I have the version that combines both into one mod. And if anyone on PlayStation that's watching this video wants to get in on that, there are PlayStation versions. If you happen to use this version of Nordic UI, a load screen replacer might not actually work. That was a caveat of the one that I was using, and I did try it and it didn't seem to work, so FYI. Finally, I wanted to talk about character mods and NPC mods. I ended up going back to what I was using previously, the Divine Skins and Bodies. I found that with the WSCO mod, I didn't really love the look of a lot of the NPCs in the game. Initially, I really liked the look, but after like 5 to 10 hours, I was like, I'm kind of looking for something else. So I really liked Divine Skins and Bodies when I was using it, but I did still want to change up the look of some of the NPCs. So I settled on Pandorable NPCs, which I've used previously. It's a very large mod, so it might not be something that you're looking to do necessarily. I had the space in my list, and I think it's worth it. And then I kept the character overhaul royalty pack that I usually use, and I just loaded it after, and it seems to work okay. Kind of on the same note, but I have pretty much used the Skyrim creature overhaul for I don't even know how long at this point. I just switched to Divergence, the Beast Compendium, and then since I own the Anniversary Edition and have all that Creation Club content, I did download the additional mod that covers all of those, but if you don't have that, then you don't really need it. Now, a few closing notes about this list. I do have several things that require other mods to actually work, and I've tried to mark on the spreadsheet like which ones actually require the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. If you're ever unsure, this should be said in the mod description or show as a requirement on Bethesda.net. There's also a couple mods that do require some configuration, one of which is pretty important, otherwise you're just going to jump and freeze in midair, and that is the Movement and Behaviors Enhanced 2.0. I made a short on this, which I will link above. The other is the SkyRad Camera pack, which can be accessed by going to your powers and then going to the power of self-vision. I went over these settings in another video, which I will link down in the description. It's for a different mod, but it's basically the same settings. Azurite is pretty much good to go as a weather mod out of the box, but you can configure it a little bit. So if you go to your powers or spells, go to Azurite Meditation, go to World View, and you can change the color or picture a little bit. And I choose Vivid and Bright. This is the strength of the sun and the lighting on your character or things in the game. So 66 or 100 is what I'd recommend. I've looked at this in a little bit more detail on past videos, but I will link the last one that I did that in, and let me know what kind of settings you're rocking if you're using Azurite. And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions. I had created a new character to play through with this list, and because I had to reinstall it, I think I'm going to just try to play through with this one as it is. The next one will probably have some different things in it, like maybe even a quest mod like the Bard's College expansion, although I'll probably have to cut some things. That's all for me. Stay tuned if you want to see the load order in game, and then also in the description will be that spreadsheet with all the mods listed out and all the links so you guys can take a look at the mod descriptions and favorite, bookmark, whatever you need to do. This one was a little bit longer than intended, but I appreciate you sticking around, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye now.